Thank you. Thank you so much to every single one of you who are here tonight. As Karen said, I love this place. I love the Genesee Center. And first I have to thank my agent and my friend, Kevin Uvain, for allowing us to inhabit his beautiful home tonight. Kevin, thank you. I still don't believe I'm in your house, wherever you are. And that you've been so generous and kind to let us gather here and help spread our message and hopefully raise funds tonight. Thank you from my heart and from everyone at the Genesee Center. We're all shocked that we're here. So thank you. I want to thank Michelle Kidley, CAA, EIF. Thank you for standing behind us tonight because you give us credibility. You bring attention to this organization that is hard for us to get, quite honestly, because we're a shelter for battered and abused women. And honestly, we're not always that sympathetic. It's easier to raise money for children with cancer, and rightfully so. They deserve it. It's easier to raise money for women who are battling breast cancer, and rightfully so. They deserve it. It's easier to raise money for Alzheimer's and MS and lupus and every other affliction that affects every person walking the planet. But for some reason, I've found after 15 years of working with the Genesee Center that when it comes to domestic violence, people just say, I don't get it. Why don't they just leave? This is ridiculous. And I say, would you tell a drug addict, just stop smoking that crack? I don't get it. Would you tell an alcoholic who's struggling, whose life is in shambles, just don't drink, dude, just put it down? Oh, if it were that simple. And that's the same struggle that women who are struggling with domestic violence face. But they don't have the support that other addicts have. And I call them addicts. They're sort of love addicts. That's what I call our women. They're addicted to the pain. And they're largely addicted to the pain because they've been taught nothing else. They haven't been taught that they have self-worth and value. They often weren't loved the way they should have been as children by their mothers and their fathers. People didn't say the things they should have said, but they said things that they never should have said that affected their self-worth in the world. So they go out into the world feeling knee-high to a bullfrog. Yeah, I said it, knee-high to a bullfrog. And they're not equipped to deal with that is coming at them at rapid speed. And they quickly become victims of predators who prey on their insecurity and their lack of knowing who they are. And for one, I'm just tired of watching the women in our community suffer. I'm tired of watching them be overlooked and made wrong and to be villainized for just trying to survive. And when I came to Genesee Center 15 years ago, I walked through those doors and I met Karen Earl, and I didn't know what was going to be waiting for me, but I saw her face, and it was like a beacon of light, and I realized, oh God, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is one of my life's purposes, to help others, particularly women. I came from a family of domestic abuse. I saw my mother battered and beaten many years of my life, and I felt helpless. And I've struggled too in my life with a feeling of not being worthy and not being valued, and I still work through that today as I stand here right now. I too am still working through finding my value and finding my worth, all because of what happened to me and my family of origin as a child. And that's what connects me to this organization. I have an understanding, a knowing, and I feel like I have something that I can impart to these women, because it seems like I've overcome it, but I really haven't. In the quiet of my mind, I still struggle. So while I'm struggling with these women and I'm helping these women, I'm helping myself through it too. And that's largely why I'm here. So to say that I'm beyond thrilled that you all are here, it is an understatement. And if you can give tonight, if you know anyone who can give, you can take my word for it. I'm at this shelter. I'm part of this organization. And they really do put their money where their mouth is. When I first met Karen, she didn't even have a car. Well, that was worth driving. I mean, she had a car, but it was a hoopty, for real. And that's when I knew she's the head of this organization and she's driving in a hoopty up to the center. And that's when I knew these people are really about what they say they're about, and it's about empowering the lives of women and children. And I'm a part of it, and I thank you tonight for being here. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you the product of what we do at the Genesee Center. This young woman that I'm going to bring up, her name is Chanel. You know, like many of the women, they run to the centers, they're bleeding, they have kids in tow, they have nowhere to go, they need lawyers, they need vocational training, they need a place to live, they need to get divorces and restraining orders. The Genesee Center helps them with all of that. They need a daycare for their children, they need to figure out how to get to and from work. They need to know that you can't go to work with curlers in your hair because that's just not okay. And Chanel is, we call her like our shining example. She's a beacon of what the agency is all about. She came to Genesee and she was in that place. She was struggling. She had been abused and beaten, and her self-worth was in the toilet. And through coming to the Genesee Center, she was reborn. She was loved. She was taught. She learned to value herself and expect more out of her life and expect more out of those around her. And she will tell you her own story, but I'm so proud of her, and I'm so proud to tell you that now she is married. Oh. Okay, I didn't say that.
Yes, I know.
I'm going to let her tell you her story. But I am so proud of her, and this is what the Genesee Center produces. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, I'd like to welcome Chanel.